Hello, hello, welcome. I am so grateful that you are here. I'm Britt, and I will be your guide for this next about an hour, perhaps hour and 15 minutes of our time together. So as you are showing up, I would love to see and hear from you where you're coming from, how you heard about this, what you're here for, what your name is. I'm so grateful that you're here. I am seeing Deborah is here from Seattle, Washington. I am seeing, all right, let's see, what do we got here? We got Janet from Plymouth, Massachusetts. We've got, there we go. We've got Carrie from Portland, Oregon. There you go. So you are all showing up. I'm just super grateful that you are here with me. So keep telling me who's here with us. Keep telling me where you're coming from, and keep telling me what drew you to this particular workshop. So as you're all showing up, I say make sure that you've gone potty, turn off your distractions, go ahead and put your device on do not disturb so you can be totally present, not to me, but to yourself during this time. And we're going to get rolling in just a few minutes. So keep on showing up and telling me who's here. I would love to see that. All right, what do we got rolling? So keep there on showing up and telling me who's here. I would love to see that. There we go. All right, what do we got? I am your glorious, there it is. I am your glorious health educator. I am not so much about technology, but we work this out. I said I tend to figure it out just the same. So I'm just going to keep on holding on for all the goodness that we are here to offer. I'm going to share as we're getting into this that I'm coming to you from Cancun, right? I'm coming to you from Cancun. This is my this is my beach bracelet, because when I'm done here, I'm going out there. I'm going to go out to the ocean. I went for a walk this morning with my friend and my soul sister, Andrea, who's behind the scenes Mexican business partner who's helped me out with so much of the technology and the courses that I've offered over the years. She actually now lives in New Jersey, although I met her here in Mexico. Anyway, you're all just showing up here. I'm just super grateful you're here. And we're going to get rolling. So keep telling us who's here with me. Keep telling us why you're here, what you're hungry for, what drew you to want to be here with us. Was it a person? Was it something I said? Is it something you're feeling? What is it that has brought you to this particular workshop today? And then we're just going to get right on into it here in just a moment. So if you've got yourself a glass of water, whatever it is you need in order for you to feel whole and complete and totally present, I'm just right here holding space for you. And I'm ready to share with you these 4 secrets that every woman needs to know that nobody's talking about, which also has a secondary working title of The Real Woman's Guide to Thrive Through All Sorts of Things. So as you're showing up and telling me who's here and what you're looking for, we'll go from there. Hi, Stacy. There we go. Hi, Dale from Bellevue, Ontario. There's Deb again from Seattle, Washington. She's shown up twice on my feed. That's interesting. And Janet as well. Maybe there was a little glitch in the technology from Plymouth, Massachusetts. So welcome, welcome. All right, beloveds, we are going to jump right on into this. So in all transparency, I'm sitting on my bed. Yes, this is my laminate headboard. I have a commitment here in Cancun, and then another in Tulum, and then in Bacalar. If you've never heard of Bacalar, amazing. Bacalar. That's really close to Belize. I live in Mérida, Mexico. So I live in the Yucatan. I'm from Minnesota. I lived in Oregon. I've lived in Arizona, my 2 primary places in the United States. I've lived in Indonesia. All that to say, I'm just right here with you today, totally and completely. And although I could be out there, I'm right here with you because I want to give you the most of myself and of these teachings. So we're just going to jump right on in. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you. get you going here. And there we go. Any moment here, I'll just make sure we're all squared away and good to go. All right, so let's just jump right in. Again, you have come to this workshop today because there's something within you that is calling you forth to rise into your next best and highest evolution. And so you've come to a workshop that curiously has two different titles, but is all part and parcel of the same content. The first title is the 4 secrets that every woman needs to know and nobody's talking about. Unveiling the secret and simple ways you can change your life for the better from the inside out. And the second title is The Real Woman's Guide to Thrive Through Aging, Change, and Menopause. Same subtitle. We are here today to unveil the secret and simple, not always easy, but simple ways that you can change your life for the better. And always it's from the inside out. That's the lesson. Always, you want a better life? You want to do differently, you want a different life, you got to do differently. And all of that starts from the inside out. All right, so I'm going to jump right in. I value your time, and I want to give you all that I can during our time together. So what I offer is that in this next hour, in this workshop, I'm going to teach you the 4 secrets, or what I call the 4 pillars, so that by the end of our time together, you're going to be able to identify these 4 pillars in your own world. And you're going to see how you can use these 4 pillars to help you live a more inspired, resilient, and impactful life. And I promise you that there's so much content here in the next hour that if you so choose to come on back to the very beginning and return to the content at the very beginning and go through it again and again, you're going to just keep unraveling and unwrapping jewels and teachings that are going to help you rise into your next best and highest evolution. That's my commitment. If you stay with me until the end of this particular workshop, you're going to get my recipe book that is called Dessert for Breakfast. Now, if you don't know me, I'm Britt Benson Steele, Britt B. Steele, and my work over the last nearly 30 years has been to focus on, it's more than 25 years. I'm 50, I'm going to be 51 in December. And my focus has been over the course of my career to support and to help women rise, to help women up-level their lives, to help women look at their lives and to say, okay, how can I be more productive? How can I be more impactful? How can I simply be happier and more peaceful? That might have nothing to do with how much money I make or whether or not I get this degree or whether or not anyone else sees me as successful. How do I personally shine just a little bit brighter? So what does that have to do with dessert for breakfast? A lot. When we eat well, when we nourish ourselves well all the time, even with our desserts. So our desserts are low glycemic index. They're loaded with healthy fats. They're loaded with good proteins, and they are super duper delicious, like so delicious that even your most particular guests are going to go, whoa, this is so good. These are the desserts that I have served and I've offered over the course of the last 20 some years that I've been doing women's retreats. I have found that these are the desserts and these are the recipes that people love the most. There's even one that I used to call Hanker for a Hunk of Chocolate, because there's this thing from Schoolhouse Rock when I was a little girl, public television. But the name has changed. I didn't change it, but my students on retreat now call those mouthgasms, like mouth orgasms, because they are so good and they are so loaded with antioxidants and protein and low glycemic sugars and all the healthy, yummy nourishment that you need. So delicious that you could eat this particular dessert for breakfast. So if you stay with me till the end, and if you decide that you want to continue to walk with me, I'm going to give you this dessert for breakfast cookbook. So know that's coming. Turn off all of your distractions. Why? Not for me. I want you totally present for you for this next hour. This content and the teachings that you're going to receive that have come in and through me over the last 20 some years, this is the nectar. These are the tools and the tricks and the tips that I use in my own life all the time. And you feel like, you know what, Britt, it's time to turn up the volume. It's time for me to put a little bit of attention on my wellness and on my internal fortitude. I need to be better resourced. So when I start to feel and bear witness that I'm just kind of starting to lose my own personal edge, I turn to this practice, which you're going to hear about right out of the gate, and I'm going to share with you. This is called the 4 pillars exercise. So I'm going to jump right into the exercise and give you the thing that I use personally. Here's how you do it. So you're going to grab a piece of paper, grab your journal, and you're just going to put 2 intersecting lines. And then in the 4 quadrants, you're going to write the words do in the top left, think in the top right, feel in the bottom left, and know on the bottom right. And these 4 quadrants essentially are going to correspond to the body, that's do. What do I do? To the mind, that's think. To the emotions, or to the heart, that's feel. And to your spirit, and that's knowing, that knowing. All right, so you've got do, think, feel, and know in the 4 quadrants. Now here's where you personalize this. So when I'm feeling like I need to up-level my life, when I feel like, okay, I got some big projects, I've got some big life demands coming my way, how am I going to turn my attention to this and make the most of my life? This is what I go to. And then in each of those quadrants, what you're going to do is you're going to write what you are currently doing that are helping you. What are you doing that is fortifying you? What things are you doing that are helping you rise, helping you have more energy, helping you be more peaceful, helping you be happy? What are the things that you're doing? And if you're like, you know what, the things I'm doing aren't really working for me, then I say, instead of writing just what you're doing, write what you could be doing. So this is real. You're actually seeing my exercise here. You're seeing a picture of my desk. Those are my reading glasses. That's my hand with the pen. That's my calendar. That's my world. So what you're seeing is my handwriting. What do? I run on average 3 days a week, sometimes twice, sometimes 4 days, never more than 4 days anymore. My body says that's enough. I don't run very far. I focus on this little route that I have, and I follow it. And I do that specifically because it helps me rise. It helps clear the clutter for me. I practice yoga. I used to practice yoga 6 days a week. Now I practice yoga probably 4 days a week. Sometimes it overlaps with my run, sometimes not. So I am running regularly. I am practicing yoga regularly. I drink water regularly. I eat primarily vegetables. That's my focus. I pray every single day, whether it's just me thinking good thoughts or turning my attention toward goodness and toward the goodness in humanity and the goodness in people that I know and love and that I want to help and support, or if it's literally a deeper sort of prayer. But that's very personal. So what are you doing? Or what is it that you could be doing to help you rise? That's what I want to know. So you write those things. So right now, share with me in the comments, what are some of the things that you are doing that are working for you, that are helping you rise? Go ahead and share those things in the comments. I'd love to see those. Here's part of it too, beloved. I want you to keep showing up throughout this time together. You're going to learn more and get more out of this just by being here. Just by being here. You're going to get the most out of this. Okay, so I'm seeing that Stephanie says, one of the things that I do is I go for a morning walk in the woods. That's perfect. Carrie Ann is saying, yes, I meditate as well. Oh, I have a green juice every morning, says Louise. That's perfect. Those are the things that make the greatest difference. You're going to see that. You're going to feel that. You're going to know that. So thank you. I'm seeing your comments here. I'm seeing you come in from Facebook. I'm seeing you come in from YouTube. If you're in one of those locations or the other, you're not going to see all the comments live, but you're going to see your own. So keep bringing them to me. I'd love to see that. Janet is saying early morning prayer and meditation. Deb Anderson, I swim in a lake with friends. Exactly. Those are the things. That's exactly what I'm talking about. What are you doing to help you rise? Lots of yoga, 2 strength training courses or 2 strength training sessions a week. Exactly. That's perfect. Okay, so then in the next quadrant, the word is think. So this is correlated with mind. So then my question for you is, what are you thinking? Right? What thoughts are going through your head? So not what you're doing with your body, but what are you thinking? What are the words and the conversations you're having on the inside? So some of the things I regularly say to myself, those are my thoughts. My thoughts are the words that I say to myself, that I say with my inside voice, right? I say things like, I am help. I say things like, I'm not given more than I can handle. I say things like, what's meant for me cannot be kept from me. I say things like, there's potential everywhere. I say things like, relax. What are the things that I say to myself? What are the things that I'm thinking? So tell me some of those in the comments. I'd love to hear, what are you thinking that serves you, not what doesn't serve you? Because sometimes what happens is we turn our attention to things like, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I'm just so tired. Oh, I'm just so tired, right? Or, oh, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. Or, oh my goodness, I'm exhausted. Or this is just too much for me. Those are the sorts of things, right? And that isn't what we always are able to say. So I say, I am good enough. Exactly. What are the things that you're thinking? I am enough. I am good enough. Another one comes from a poem I wrote for Pilgrim, one of the other courses that I teach. I am whole, holy, enough as is. I am whole, holy, enough as is. There we go. All right. I think I can do that. Okay. Janet says, lately I'm thinking I'm not doing enough. So I say, how is it you turn your attention to, again, not what you're doing that's going to lower your potential, but what are the things that you could be thinking and or are thinking that are actually fortifying you. They're resourcing you. They're giving you inspiration. They're expanding. What's next? Great. That's another beautiful one. More neutral, right, Janet? What's next now that I'm 58? What's next? So then we move into our feel quadrant. Hang with me. This is going to make sense to you. What am I doing that helps me rise? What am I thinking that helps me rise? What am I feeling that helps me rise? So right now I'm feeling inspired. Right now I'm feeling hopeful. Right now I'm feeling clear. Right now I'm feeling helpful. Now, let's face it. I don't always feel these things. I don't always think just the things that I was talking about, but I'm going to say it now. And if you're multitasking, come right on back to me. I want you to really hear this. What we're doing right now is we are being sunflowers. Right? We are being sunflowers. This is like high philosophical teaching. We are turning our attention toward the sun and allowing the shadows to fall away. I'm going to return to this, but I want you to hear me now. So come on back to me if you're multitasking. We are turning our attention to the sun and allowing the shadows to fall behind us. That's what a sunflower does. Have you ever seen sunflowers in a field? The sun rises in the east, which is actually this way, because the sun rose right over the ocean this morning. The sun rises in the east. The sunflowers faces the sun, faces the sky, and then faces the west. You can see it with hundreds and thousands of sunflowers. We are practicing that same wisdom of being a sunflower. What are you doing? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Tell me what it is that you are either feeling or what you could be feeling. Drop that in the comments. I want to see that. That helps you rise. What feelings help you rise? This is important. All these pieces, these are like golden links in a chain that make up your fortitude, your resilience, your ability to weather change, your ability to get through difficult times, your ability to be initiated and shift from one stage of life to the next. So tell me, bring it on, drop it in the comments. I want to see what it is that you are feeling right now. Tell me that. I'm looking for that. There's a little bit of a delay. So when I ask those questions, I invite you to just drop them right in there so I can see them. There we go. So I'm feeling hopeful as well. I'm feeling clear. That's exactly right. I'm feeling joyful because my grandchildren are with me. I'm feeling grateful because I have my health. Exactly. Those are the things. I want to keep seeing those things. You want to keep seeing those things. So tell me, what is it that you're feeling? Keep those comments coming. What are the things that you're feeling that help you rise into your next best and highest evolution? Drop those in the comments. Feeling helpful to others, Janet says. Exactly. These are the ways that we fortify from the inside out. Now, here's the last one. This is knowing. This one's a little bit different. This is the spiritual aspect, if you will. This is what relates to your uniqueness. So what are you doing? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? And what do you know to be true? So for me, what I know to be true overlaps largely with what I'm doing, thinking, and feeling, right? This is like the driving force of what I do, what I think, and I feel. So this is where I say that wherever I am, I can be of use. This is where I say, I am rising. This is where I say, how I do anything is how I do everything. This is where I say, this is where I know in my bones and in my blood that my life has purpose. And my work today is to pay attention and to pay forth that purpose. So what is it that you know? You can keep that one to yourself, or you can drop it in the comments. That's up to you. But now what I want you to do is to just circle one of those that sort of pops out to you in each of those categories. What is it you're doing? What is it you're thinking? What is it you're feeling? And what do you know to be true? And then those become your 4 pillars. Those become your 4 pillars. We're going to come back and we're going to turn those 4 pillars into anchors a bit later in our practice together. But this is the way that we come into this. This is how we rise. Deborah just said, I know I am here for a reason. If you know that in your bones, like Deborah knows that, if you know that in your bones, then every day you are going to take every moment, every breath, every interaction as an opportunity to express that reason. And if you forget, you're going to return to that knowing with your hands in service, with your mind, with what you say to yourself and to others, and the way in which that you feel and express and share those feelings with other people. We know how inspired we are by being around individuals who are full of love, who are full of light, who are full of joy. We know that in our bones and in our blood. So we're going to come back to these 4 pillars. These are those, and we will come back to them again and again. All right. So if you're here with me today, I have a hunch that you're going to fall into one of 3 categories. So I want you to notice which one of these most accurately speaks to you personally. Are you longing for a deep and authentic life? Is that where you are in your life at this time? I am longing for depth and authenticity. Is that where you are? Where you know that your intuition has value and you want to stop pushing so hard, right? Is that where you are? You long for depth and authenticity. Or are you in a place where you're not very good at slowing down and you're not very good at listening within, but you are really ready? You're really ready to start listening to that inner voice. Like it's time. So first of all, are you ready for depth and authenticity? Or secondly, are you really ready to listen to that tiny little inner voice that might not always be feeling strong enough for you to say, no, you know what? I need to take care of me and then I'll be with you. I'm going to put my oxygen mask on first, right? Is that who you are? Or maybe you just know that there's more out there for you, more for you to feel, more for you to experience, more for you to be, more for you to share. And you just want to be sure of yourself. You want to be able to make the greatest impact in your life for yourself, for those you touch, and for the world at large. So which one of those? Drop those in the comments. Go ahead and share those with us. We want to know you. We want to see what is moving you. Are you one who's longing for depth and authenticity? Or is your primary motivation to listen to your inner voice and to stop pushing so hard? Or Are you just ready to rise into your next best and highest evolution so you can get on with it and make the greatest difference in your life? Tell me which one is most alive for you. So Suzanne says, I'm number one, definitely. I'm ready to focus on depth and authenticity. Janet says, I want to rise into my next best and highest evolution so I can make a real difference, for sure. Carolyn says, I'm ready to listen to my inner voice and stop pushing myself so hard. It just shuts down my intelligence. That's so true. When we push ourselves and we're constantly in that place of push, 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 our internal intelligence goes quiet. Exactly. Mary Lynn, I want to rise into my next best and highest evolution. Irene Wong says, I want to make a real difference. Exactly. If there's another reason, you can drop that in the comment. If it's any combination, Deborah Anderson says, I'm ready to listen. So know that in your bones. Write that down for yourself. Circle it on your piece of paper. This is what I'm ready for. When you give that message to yourself and to the universe will respond in kind. It's the nature of how these things work. All right. So a little bit more about me. For those of you who don't know who I am, and some of you know me but don't know me, this is me and my partner on the top right. That is Hector. He's Mexican, salt of the earth Mexican, beautiful human being. And we were leading a retreat in Trancones. We've led retreats for a number of years now together. And we have mud on our faces that comes up from the hot springs that just bubbles up from the jungles in outside of Zihuatanejo. And this is where Four Seasons actually harvests their clay for their spa. Underneath this banyan tree, you reach underneath and you get this clay and you drag it out, and we smeared it all over our faces and everyone's faces while we were there. And then we were all just like baby soft skin afterwards. But this is my beautiful partner, Hector. The photo in the middle at the bottom is when I was in Japan. I do a great deal of service work in the work that I do. And I was in Japan raising money for an orphanage. The woman on my right in the pink and white shirt, she was my translator. The little boy was by my side the whole day. He was one of the orphans. I love his little smile like this. And he communicated to my translator that he wanted her to ask on his behalf if I would marry him. And I, of course, lovingly said, let me know ask me again in 20 years and we'll have a talk. It's only been 4 years since then. So I haven't heard anything from him since then. And then the woman up behind him, she's the lead volunteer at the orphanage. So we were there raising money on behalf of the orphanage so that the children would have the support and the education that they need to rise into their next best and highest evolution. So I just want to go circle back to the thing about dessert for breakfast, the thing about how when we eat really well and we nourish our bodies and we move our bodies and we're taking good care of ourselves and we're filling our bodies with high vibrational foods, we have the energy to do the things that are of the highest value to ourselves, like here right now. I have the energy to share with you these teachings. I have the energy to go and to teach yoga and to teach mindfulness to children in an orphanage. I have the energy to be able to support individuals in coaching and on retreat and in all the ways in online courses so that I can help you rise into your next best and highest evolution. It's related to everything. Remember one of the things that I said, I think, how you do anything is how you do everything. Those are the words of the Buddhist teacher, Sherry Huber. Not just my words, but they're words that I've taken with me and carried with me for decades. It makes a huge difference in our lives when we pay attention to our hearts and let our hearts speak through our hands, through our inner voices, through the voices that we share in the world so that we can be of high impact. And that's what I'm here for. I want you to see that in yourself. I want you to know that. So one of the ways that I know that to be true in this other picture is with two of my mentors, Dr. Chris Northrup, who wrote Women's Bodies, Women's Wisdom, wrote Goddesses Never Heal. She's been, in many years past, she was a public television, a public broadcasting service, educator in the area of both medicine, natural medicine, energy medicine. And the center woman is Dr. Deborah Kern. She's a mentor of mine for many years, and she also is a dear friend and a woman that I love and respect immensely. We all need sisterhood. We all need mentors. We all need teachers. We all need guides. There's no reason to grope around in the dark. If you're running off on me, come right back to me. There's no reason to be groping in the dark. Come right on back. Keep showing up. This is how we rise. So a little bit more about me. If you don't know who I am, again, my name's Britt. I've taught more than 20,000 hours over my 25 plus years in the world of women's wellness, health, education, teaching at the university level, hospital administration, and I've been teaching online for more than 15 years. I've lived and studied and taught across the globe, and I live these teachings. So for me, what I know to be true in my bones and blood is that I wake up every morning before the sun. So I love this morning, rising with the ocean and watching the sun come up over the horizon. But every morning, no matter where I am, 90% of the time when I rise, I wake up inspired and rested and ready for whatever is coming. And I get at it, whatever that is. And if for some reason, like we all have these days, if for some reason that other 10% of the time I'm feeling tired or I'm feeling lost or I'm feeling uninspired, I know what to do. And just the same, I get at it. I do the same things because I know, and if you hear anything, hear this. So come back to me, please. Hear this if you hear anything. It's not what happens in life that determines how I feel and how present and impactful I am. What determines how I feel and how present and impactful I am is what I do with what happens. And that's what this is all about. So I am here with you today more than anything because I want you to feel how I know you can feel through stress, through change, through empty nesting, through evolution, through the changing of a hat or a role, through marriage, through divorce, through bankruptcy, through movement, through disease. I want you to know how you can feel each and every morning when the sun rises. That's what I long for you. Now, in all transparency, the content of this workshop is the basis. It's like the foundation of a program that I've taught before that's called the Radical Self-Care Roadmap, which is loaded with ancient wisdom, modern science, and practical tools, where we come together beginning Monday. And so what I'm offering, and it's for 28 days, that program, this program today, this 1 hour together, is for me to give you the basis of my teaching and of this program. And my hope, of course, is that you join me for this upcoming 28-day journey, because I want you to be a part of this amazing community of women, and I want to share these teachings with you. But in this next hour, it's a standalone, full of nectar training. And this is worth your time all in and of itself, even if you don't choose to study with me in the future. No matter what you choose to do at the end of this little workshop, I only want for you to rise, and I only want what's best for you. Here's what I know to be true. You already have within you everything you need to rise into your next best and highest evolution. Come on back. You have everything you need to rise. There's that sunflower turning her face toward the sun. So I want to ask you a question. Can you imagine what it would feel like if every morning you awakened so full and ready to rise and to live your best life? Because it's your life itself that really lights you up. Can you imagine that? That's what I want to show you. Because what I know to be true is that being conscious and intentional with your day-to-day choices of body, mind, heart and spirit are the single most powerful ways for you to rise so that you can share your best self with your family, the people you touch, and with the world. So if you're like me, you're like, what's going to happen here today? Here's what I'm going to say. We're going to go through those 4 pillars. We're going to return to those again. You got it in the 4 exercises, the 4 pillar exercise. Now we're going to unfold those. We're going to talk about the body. That's the first one. Then we're going to talk about mind. Then we're going to go into your heart. Then we're going to go into your spirit. Then we're going to talk about what your next steps could be along the journey. And then I'm going to open it up to live Q&A. Anything goes in that Q&A. So the first pillar, the first secret that every woman needs to know is that your body is essentially your new/old best friend, BFF. So tell me, drop it in the comments. What are the qualities of a best friend? What are the qualities that makes a best friend? So I offer that a best friend has qualities that qualify her to be your BFF, your best friend forever. What are those qualities? Suzanne says she's honest with me. Deborah Anderson says she's faithful, ready to do anything. Carrie says, ready to do anything. She's inspiring and helps me live into my edge. Exactly. Those are the things. Marie says, what is that? Marie says, she always tells me the truth. Exactly. These are the ways that we know a best friend is worthy of being our best friend. So here's some qualities. Your best friend tells you the truth. Your best friend has no agenda for you to be different. Irene says she's here through it all. That's never abandons you. That's exactly right, Irene. Your best friend never abandons you. She does everything possible to support you. She wants you to be efficient. She wants you to be clear. She wants you to be productive. She wants you to be peaceful and at ease, right? These are the qualities. So here's the deal. Your body is your best friend forever. If you're like, no, wait a minute. What I'm here to say is you don't need to be totally in love with every detail or aspect of your body in order to hear and to heed her wisdom. You don't need to do that. But what you do need to be able to do is to say, I'm willing to listen to the messages my body gives me. And I can trust that there's a reason that my body is giving me these messages. There's a reason my jaw's tight. There's a reason my thumbs are inflamed. There's a reason my tummy hurts. There's a reason I'm squinching my eyes. There's a reason. I trust. I might not understand the reason, but I trust that there is a reason. So then I also am open to receive the wisdom my body wants to share. Just like a best friend, you trust that best friend, you're willing to listen to her. And you trust that there's a reason that she's saying the things she's saying. She's not trying to change you. She's trying to inform you. She's trying to hold a mirror up. Your body is your mirror. And then are you willing to take just a tiny little step toward that ease, toward that efficiency, toward that impact and activity? That's what your body's asking of you. If you take good care of your body, beloved, your body will take good care of you, because no matter what, it is the only, think about this. Your body is the only place you are ever going to live. When your body's gone, you exit. Your body, if you take care of your body will take care of you. It is the only place you will ever live. One of my students, Candace Shooter, when I asked her about this program, the Radical Self-Care Roadmap, which I'll tell you more about in a little while, when I asked her about the program and what she got out of it, she said, these are the things that are different now. Now I start my day right by prioritizing what I've learned works well for me and keeps me grounded and productive. Now my toolbox for getting through life's challenges is robust. Beloved, this is what it's all about. We are filling the toolbox with lots of tools so that when you are in need, when you're going through change and transition and menopause and loss and shift in life and portal, that you have a toolbox full of robust and useful practices and techniques. And you know what to do and you know when to do them. And then most of all, as Candace said, and then you do them. You do it. You know what to do and when to do it, and you do it. And Candace also said, and this really sums it up, I make way better choices and I take better care of myself. And it's no longer a struggle, it's an honor. Wouldn't you like to feel like when you take good care of yourself, you're not denying yourself that amazing beverage or that amazing meal or dessert or experience, but instead you feel as though you're honoring yourself by choosing what moves you, what shifts you, what changes you in a healthy and productive way. That's the body. That's the secret and pillar number one. Number two is your mind. This is your command center. This is your command center. Your mind is your command center, not your control center. This is key. Pay attention to this. Your mind is not your control center. It is your command center. So what does that mean? That means that energy is always going to follow attention. Thoughts become things. Where you're going, what you place your attention on is what becomes real. And addictions essentially are not bad things. They run super deep. They inform us whether I'm addicted to shopping or addicted to sugar or addicted to this thought or addicted to this way of seeing my partner or addicted to what I'm saying to myself about myself and the world. Addictions run deep, and we're not so concerned about the addiction. We want to get to what's beneath that so that when we're beneath that, we can turn our attention toward goodness and toward resiliency and toward abundance of body, of mind, of heart, of spirit. And when we do that, our best friend our minds become the most reliable ally, not our worst enemy. The mind is not to be controlled, beloved. The mind is to be understood and respected. That's key, because thoughts become things. So here, let me give you an example. This bracelet, beautiful Mexican bracelet, right? Somebody thought of this design and it eventually became a thing. This little hair binder, somebody thought of this, taking off that little metal piece. Now there's no little metal anymore that pulls your hair. Somebody thought of that and it became this thing. This ring that I got in Bali, that's a moon ring. Somebody thought of that, the design, the concave aspect, the little hammer marks that make it look like the moon. Somebody thought of that and it became a thing. The thoughts I have about what I'm going to do in the morning, what I'm going to put in my mouth, how I'm going to treat this body become this thing, the body itself. Turn your face toward the sun. I said I'd come back to this. I'm going to keep coming back to this. If you remember anything, remember this. Turn your face toward the sun and let the shadows fall behind you. That's the power of the mind. Because ultimately our thoughts become our words. Your words become your actions. Actions become your habits. Habits become your character. And your character, beloved, becomes your life, right? This is the work. So treat your mind like an unruly husky puppy. That sweet puppy. So what does that mean? What does that mean? That means, okay, so when I had my puppy, when my 120 something or 120 pound big dog was a little puppy, somebody turned me onto a book. If you ever have to train a puppy, get this book. It's called My Smart Puppy. It comes with the training DVD. It's awesome. My Smart Puppy. What this book taught me is that when those razor sharp puppy teeth started to come at my hand or come at my arm, that what I was to do was to take my little finger and just press it into his little rib cage. And so here's this little, and he'd go, hey, what's happening? And he would be redirected to something else. And in time, what happens is those razor sharp teeth stop getting dug into my hand because he's been redirected away from biting, away from biting, away from biting. So if I want to be redirected away from that glass of wine, away from the cookie, away from that negative thought, away from that counterproductive way of being in the world, away from that negative conversation, I want to redirect, turn my attention to the positive, turn my attention back to the 4 pillars, the exercise, the ones that you circled. Do the things that help you rise. Think the things that help you rise. Feel the feels that help you rise. Know the things that help you rise. Turn your attention to that and then memorize what works. Close your eyes, turn your attention within and go, that is just like me. That is just like me. And keep doing it again and again and again. So secret, here's a reveal. I don't like to exercise. I've never liked to exercise, not in my whole life. Like, I don't like it. I don't like to run. I don't like to lift weights. I don't really even like to do a lot of yoga, not strong yoga. I don't like yogi style push-ups, but do I do them? Absolutely. Do I run? Absolutely. Do I move my body every day? Absolutely. Why? Because I've memorized what works and I bypass the negativity. I turn my attention to the way that I want to feel, and I do the things and think the things that are going to cultivate that awareness within me and help me rise. And I simply turn off those nagging comments like children, mom, 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 listen to me, listen to me, listen to me. I say, after I go for my run, after I go for my run. Thank you. I'll come back and I'll hear what you have to say. I go for my run. I come back and I go, no, what were you going to say? I go to that inner voice and the inner voice goes, I feel awesome. I forgot. That's how we do it. The mind is not to be controlled. It is meant to be redirected. That's what works. Does that make sense? Does that resonate? Can you see the value in that? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to see your response to that. Stephanie says, I love that so much. I do too. Thank you. Okay, so here's a distraction for you. Remember I said anchor phrase? Circle back to that anchor phrase. I'm shifting my position here in my recording studio, aka bed at the Airbnb, right? You got it, right? Definitely understood the redirected part. Exactly, Deborah. This is the way we roll. Okay, so you see this slide. Why do I have this slide with the girl sitting on the toilet? I have this slide with the girl sitting on the toilet because the best way I know how to redirect my energy is to make myself take full advantage of the moments when I am my own captive audience. You're sitting on the toilet. I'm sitting on the toilet. I'm the only one there. There's no one else there with me. Lord knows I don't need my telephone in there. But what I do have is I have one of those anchor phrases or all 4 of those anchor phrases, the things that you circled. This is your homework. This is your homework. Write on a scratch piece of paper. Write it on the corner of your paper now. Tear those out. Transfer them to note cards. Do what it is. Use your colored pencils. Whatever it takes. Don't make it complicated. Keep it simple. Keep it simple and get on it. And then put a little bit of poster putty or tape on the back sides of those and smack them up to the wall where you can see them every time you sit on the toilet, and watch your life change before you. Hear me. Hear me, hear me, hear me. Come back to me if you're multitasking. I want you to hear this. Do you know that individuals who are simply given a pedometer walk 25% more steps a day? Nobody said walk more. Nobody said do this, this, and this. Nobody said anything other than, here, handed him pretend my cable's a pedometer. Here's your pedometer. Take the pedometer. So what just happened? There is an anchor. You create those anchor phrases. You put them on your refrigerator. You put them on the dashboard of your car. You put them on the mirror in your bathroom. You hang them on the inside of the door of your closet. You put them on your lamp by your nightstand. You put them on the wall across from the toilet. You put them in all the places, and watch how your world shifts. These are secrets, beloved. These are things we're not talking about. We think that just the massage or just the exercise program or just taking a vacation, coming to Cancun is going to make you happier. It's going to make you happier for a moment in time. It's going to relax you for a moment in time. I'm not talking about states of joy, states of relaxation. I'm talking about internal traits of joy, internal traits of resilience, internal traits of relaxation. This is what I'm talking about. Secret number 3, pillar number 3. So just as we're just making sense of this, there's a lot of information coming through. I just want to remind us. Pillar number 1, body. What are you doing? Do more of the things that help you, that serve you, that purify the vessel. What are you thinking? Keep turning your attention toward the sun. Pay attention to the things that aren't working for you and move away from those. You don't have to eliminate those. You just have to turn your attention to the good things. Now, pillar number 3, the big secret, your heart. Your heart connects you to everything. Your heart connects the body motions, what you do in the world with the thoughts you have in your head. Let yourself, as Rumi says, be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray. This is to say that there's a quiet little pull that when we allow ourselves just a little bit of downtime to listen, a walk on the beach, a walk in the woods, a roll on the ball on the floor, putting our feet up the wall, sitting in silence without our phone, turning off our technology, you're going to feel this tiny little heart pull to what you really love. Why is it strange? It's strange and unusual because you are a unique human being. And that inner voice that draws you to what you loved as a child, to what you know that gives you joy. It's not about what gives someone else joy. If they like going and goodwilling or antiquing and that's not your thing, you prefer to sit and crochet. The crocheting is the silent draw. If you prefer to go hiking in the mountains versus lying on the beach, that is your silent draw, the strange pull of your heart. Listen to that. There is a resonance we don't even know nor understand that lives in the vibration of the heart and the spirit, which we'll talk about. You see, the heart will tell you what is true and real. And your job is to pay attention. Your thoughts are going to tell you what's real. Oh, this is working for me. This is not working for me. Oh, geez, I find myself moving in a negative pattern of thought. I need to turn myself to the sun. I don't need to worry about what not to say, what not to do. I just need to fill my fridge with fruits and vegetables. If I don't want to eat the Twinkies, don't buy the Twinkies. I don't want to drink so much wine. Don't have wine in the house. This is how we do it. Your heart is going to tell you what's true and real through your thoughts and through your body. Your body and your thoughts will not lie to you. Get clear, stay clear, keep turning toward the sun, keep filling your body, your mind, your heart, and your spirit with the practices, the exercise, and the activities that are going to help you rise. And you will see and watch how your spirit soars. Your only job in this life when it comes to the matters of the heart is to pay close attention and to heed the voice of the heart. Notice what happens to your energy. Does it go up? Does it go down in this conversation? When you eat this food, when you think this thing, when you're in the sun versus in the mountains, when you're in the shade versus in the water, when you're in the river, right? Versus when you get a massage, like notice what happens to your energy. Does it expand and rise or does it contract and shut you down? Notice these things. Notice where they show up in your body and what they're telling you, and just pay attention. And then look for patterns. Look for patterns. The patterns will tell you where your habits are. And remember, your habits begin to lay the foundation for your character. And your character lays down the foundation for the destiny and the legacy that you leave. This might feel like it's way out there, but it's right here. It's what am I doing today, in this moment, today with my hands? What's in my fridge today? What music am I listening to today? What magazines do I buy today? Who am I following on social media today? If I go into social media and every time I'm there, there's just negativity, this, that, I feel acrid and acidy and anxious inside, get out of there. If it's weird, get out of there. You see that as a pattern, get out of there. Deborah, can you repeat that about patterns? What you're doing, so I'm going to back up. Notice what happens. Oh, my throat gets tight. Oh, my throat gets tight. Oh, every time I travel, I get constipated. Oh, every time I eat this, I get diarrhea. Oh, every time I'm with that person, I feel yucky. Oh, every time, right? Every time I do this or that, every time I eat tomatoes, my throat swells. Notice those things. They can be extreme, and then we notice more and more subtleties over time. Notice those patterns, and then we change our behaviors accordingly. Every time I drink wine, I wake up crappy. I have a glass of wine at night. Brit, true story. If I have a glass of wine at night, I don't exercise the next day. How's that working for me? Not. So I look for the patterns. I look for the interconnections. Oh, when I'm with that person, I feel alive. I feel inspired. Note to self, do more of that. Spend more time with that person. That woman always reflects to me how much potential I have. That community, that teacher always is showing me and telling me, no, I got this. I have what it takes. Look for those patterns. Look for the people and the circumstances and the foods and the thoughts and the behaviors. Look for the patterns in body, mind, and heart, and turn your attention toward the sun. I hope that answers your question. I think it will. Valerie, spoke to her this morning. She's in San Francisco. She's a high-end radio producer. Lots of stress in her job. And I said, what has this program done for you? And she said, now the program essentially made me better able to discern what is true in my heart. And it's helped me come back to my center more quickly so that I can navigate high pressure situations and deadlines with much greater ease and joy. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to navigate high pressure situations, the doctor's appointment, the conflict with the family, with greater ease and with joy? Y'all, these are not death wishes, or death sentences. Getting older, going through menopause, saggy boobs. These are not death sentences. These are changes. Changes. If we know anything in this life, we know change is the constant. I want you, like Valerie experienced. Look at her. Look at how brilliant and beautiful and bright she is. I want you to navigate high pressure situations and deadlines with much more ease. So here's the thing. What is it your heart really longs for? Tell me that. What have you not given yourself the space to bring into your life? Drop that in the comments. Tell us. What is your heart longing for? Suzanne says, I want to grow more flowers. Mary Lynn says, I want to roll around with my grandkids more frequently. That's exactly right. Right? What is it that your heart really longs for? Right? Tell me, drop that in the comments. We want to see that you haven't given yourself the space to bring into your life. I want to write more. I want to paint more. I want to draw more. That's right. Share with us. What is it that your heart really longs for that you haven't quite given yourself the space to bring into your life? Deborah says, more deep, meaningful family time. Exactly. Deborah, look online, look on Amazon for, go to Amazon and do card decks for quality family time or fun family time. do that. I'll talk about that. I want to live quietly in nature. I want to grow my own vegetables, be present in my family's life. Exactly. So how do we do that? How do you put those things together? How do you take your egg cartons, your paper egg cartons, right? Press paper egg cartons, and plant seeds with your grandkids and with your children, right? And be present to the growth of your children and the growth. How do we set up those lines on the wall? Why are we no longer willing, the same way we were, to take a pencil and just scratch on the wall and say how tall somebody is and how old they are? Do that again. Why are we not making paw prints of our grandkids right on the wall? Paint, thump. Why are we not doing that, right? More and more of that. Tell me. What does your heart really long for that you haven't quite given yourself the space to bring into your life? So the card deck on Amazon, there's all sorts of things. You can do it with couples. You can look for card decks for quality time with family, fun things to do with family. And it's literally a card deck. You just pull out a card and you go, we're going to go to the zoo. We're going to go for a walk, right? Deborah says, I do have paint on the wall. Perfect. Do more. So awesome. I'm so glad to see that. That's perfect. Because your spirit, beloved, this is the secret number 4. This is like your uniqueness. This is the grace of who you are and what you are. Your spirit is the way you do you. It is your uniqueness. Follow that. This is Liesel, and she's here to say there is definitely a better way. It's your way. So I could try to be like my mentors or my teachers. I could try to show up the way that they show up. I could try to teach the things that they teach, but I'm not going to have nearly the same joy, the same vitality, the same energy that I have when I teach in my unique and strange way, right? There is a better way for you to do you, for you to do vitality, for you to do relationship, for you to do parenting, for you to do grandparenting, and that is your way. Stand in your uniqueness. This is the grace, because it is, I don't know why I love this picture so much, but it is absolutely never, ever, ever, ever too late for you to follow your spirit. Isn't she awesome? Look at that sweater and that necklace. Like, that's so grandma's church. And she's got the headset with her ears. And don't you want to know her? Like, wouldn't you much rather know her than the version of her where her hands are crossed across her lap and she's sitting with pursed lips, or a good grandma smile without those ears? Come on. She's the one we want, the one who wears purple and eats pickles and spits in the street. Be her. This is how you enhance and step into your vitality and your grace. Do it again. Look at what you did and loved as a child. Don't you love watching old ladies dance? Dance, sister, dance. And you're like, oh, I couldn't do that. That's where I say, where you feel small, oh, I couldn't paint that. Oh, I couldn't write a book. I say, yes, you can. Where you feel small, that's the doorway into your vitality. Lean into that. Surround yourself with women and community and support where you're going to be championed for showing up, for going through those small doorways. Not quite sure how to do it? You want to become a painter? You love to paint, but you've never really painted? Buy socks with paintbrushes and palettes. Buy a piece of jewelry with a painting palette, right? Let these small acts of presence and attention, by turning your attention toward the sun, let these small things grow you and get comfortable with being a little bit uncomfortable. Right? I was telling my business partner, who's out at the pool right now waiting for me, I said to her this morning, I'm leaning into my growth edge. Like my work in the world, I'm leaning into my growth edge. Is it fun? Hell no. Is it fun? Hell yes. It's all that. Right? I'm going through menopause. I'm feeling my hormones change. I'm watching my body change. There is freedom and there's fear. Yes, I say yes. You are whole, holy, enough as is. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. This might be a moment for you to say, okay, where are we in this talk? I'm going to come back and to listen to this part. I just sort of told the whole story in the last 3 minutes. You might want to come back to this. Here's one of my students, Lori Jo Daniels, an artist, a nature lover, a fairy maker, for real. I said, what do you want me to put in your description? She said, fairy maker, woman in her 50s, grandma, beloved partner. She said, oh my gosh, there's no going back to who I am. And I now confidently walk the path of my own authentic calling. I am so inspired. That's what she said after going through the program I'm about to tell you about. You see, listen to what your heart, your body, your mind are telling you, and then go in that direction. That is where your life is. If you're moving in the opposite direction of what expands you, you are slowly waiting for the Grim Reaper to walk in. I say have none of that. As long as you're here, why not be here fully, entirely, completely, in community, in love, and in support, and set this boring place on fire with love, with joy, with self-acceptance, with goodness for the children. Because just like Liesl said, there's no wrong way, but there is a better way for you to be walking in this life. And that is your way, not my way. Don't do what I'm doing. Right? There's this thing in the ancient yogic teachings that says, look to those who have what you want and sit close to them. Do what they do and don't do what they don't do. And watch how the portals open. The only difference, beloved, between where you are right now and where you want to be are the steps that you have not yet taken. It's that simple. So we're on number 5. We've gone through body, number 1, mind, number 2, heart, number 3, spirit, number 4. This is number 5. Take your pick. This is as I see it in this moment where we are together. You can keep doing what you're doing, right? Keep on doing that. Or you can follow a proven roadmap. Margie is an incredible attorney. She is a Harvard negotiations grad. She is a mother. She is a wife. She is an environmental protector. She is a wisdom keeper. She is a joy to be around. And in an email to me, she said, to say that your program has been a salve to me this past year would be an understatement. It sustains me. It reminds me to live with open eyes and an open heart and to show up and do the best that I am able. I feel connected to other women in this program and in my life. And I am so very grateful that you are choosing each moment to live these teachings and to bring them to light for myself, others, and the world. You see, because Margie's just like any of us. She, you, we are way more than, and way more potent than the sum of our parts. We are all women in one woman. Stand in the presence of those women who see and recognize and value your wholeness, all that you are. The word rise. I talk about rising a lot. What do I mean? Rising into your next best and highest evolution. One of my little tricks that I do regularly is I look at the etymology of a word. So when I talk about rise, I'm talking about awakening from one's sleep. I'm talking about being fit to be a good mother. I'm talking about being fit to be resilient in difficult times. I'm talking about the fitness it requires to thrive. I'm talking about the fitness that it requires to live well through loss. I'm talking about how it is we travel through life and move from a lower consciousness to a higher consciousness, to increase in our presence and to be prominent, original, rebellious, and to say, you know what? I see that I could live like my mother lived. I see that I could live like like Mary Jones is living, but I also see that I want to live with more vitality and more connection and more impact. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to rise. I'm going to be radical in that way. So here's the question I have for you, very, very overtly. Would you like for me, am I the one for you? Would you like for me to help you rise into your next best and highest evolution, starting now? Now. Because here's what I want for you. Above all else, no matter what you do at the end of this talk, I want you to take your next best right steps. I want you to rise. But that ultimately isn't going to be for me to decide, beloved. You got to make that choice. I can only tell you what roadmap I followed and hope that you glean something useful from it and from my journey. And I will share with you every step that I have taken and that I know works. Again, here's how I see it. You can try to create a life-friendly self-care program without the roadmap that's going to bring you to all of these things that we've been speaking about today. You can try to do that on your own without a roadmap and without a community of like-minded people who are walking the same road as you. And the reality is that if you do that, you're going to run the risk of waking up a year from now where you are now, or perhaps having lost ground, right? Or you can both feet in commit to rising into your next best and highest evolution now with a roadmap, with a community, with a timeline, 28 days, fraction of a lifetime, and with me as your guide. You are invited. Here's where I talk about the program, to the Radical Self-Care Roadmap. From where I sit, and the reason that I even came up with this program and decided to develop this program is because I have decades of practices that have become second nature to me and that I've used as prescription with my students and my clients as I guide them. And this program is a culmination of that guidance. It is the only guided program I know of its kind. And it will show you exactly how to create and implement a really life-friendly self-care program that you integrate into your life, not take time out of your life to go do this or that or this other thing, but integrate into your life. And it will teach you how to interconnect your self-care with the impact and the meaning and the vitality and the purpose that you have to make in this life. And the end result is that self-care, you will find, is not selfish. It is indispensable. And it's not separate from your day-to-day life. It is the pathway to your vitality. And you will find that you won't drop your self-care any more than you'd stop brushing your teeth. It's that kind of imperative. That's what I want you to know. This is the invitation to Radical Self-Care Roadmap. What is it? This course will help you pinpoint what is really in the way of taking better care of yourself. If there's some voids that you want to attend to, if there's some ways in which that you feel like you're falling below your potential, we're going to pinpoint those. And then I'm going to help you put into practice daily self-care that does not feel like another thing to do, but helps you rise up each morning. Remember, 90% of the time, rising up inspired and ready for anything. This program, with your community, with the map, with the calendars, with the modules, with the lessons, is going to build for you a strong foundation for vitality, ease, and impact. And all of the steps are tiny, small, doable. All of this is going to jumpstart your health, abundance, vitality in body, mind, heart, and spirit, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And then what's going to happen as a result is at the end of the 20 days, you'll have all of the experiences, all of the teachings in your bones and in your blood. You'll have this rich community to lean back upon, and you will have in your hands a personalized, practical, radical self-care plan for you in your life. 4 modules. I introduced them to you today. Body, mind, heart, and spirit. But I just gave you the tip of the iceberg today. Within each of those modules, in total, there are 12 lessons. There are quizzes. There's PDFs, there's supporting resources, there's playlists, and there's easy peasy ways for you to implement what you learn as we go. There's meditation, there's yoga, pick and choose. It's a menu. It's a smorgasbord. You choose. I help you choose what's right for you. There's time for practice and implementation. It's not an overwhelm of information. It's step by step and easy to navigate. And there's a daily morning checkup where you encompass the lessons from each weekly module and you implement those, get them into the bones and blood of your being. And then my favorite part is we have a ready-made girl club community of like-minded women who are walking by your side. They're not just like joining you for a minute and then going off into their world. They're not dragging you off into the woods of eating too much or drinking too much or talking about the neighbors or blah, blah, complaining about this or not doing that. No, they're saying, we're here to help you rise. You're here to help me rise. Let's rise together. You're with me. Remember, I talked about this in the beginning. I'm going to share with you some bonuses. If you sign up today, this is what you get in addition. Bonus number one, you get dessert for breakfast. This is my cookbook. Like I said, it holds all my favorite recipes from on retreat. When I finish teaching yoga and meditation, and then I run into the kitchen and I make my vegan key lime pie, high in protein, high in healthy fats, good enough to eat for breakfast. I share with you my strawberry ice cream. I share with you all of my favorite recipes that move me, shake me, shift me, change me, nourish me, awaken me. Those are for you. Now here, you might be thinking, maybe you're thinking that, yeah, well, that's Brit. Like she's super bubbly and happy and inspired, and she doesn't have these challenges that I have, or she doesn't have this, or she does have this. Maybe Britt, maybe you think I innately have something you don't have. And I'm just here to say, no, not true. Simply what I have and what I'm sharing with you in this program is I have a history and a map. I have a 25 plus year adult history, right? More than that, right? I'm going to be 51. But I have decades plus of dedicating my whole life to walking in wellness and doing everything that I can to be a part of wealth and abundance of body, of mind, of heart, and spirit. And I am here to share with you that path. The second bonus, for the rest of the year, you get monthly Q&As with me. So after we finish the program in September and October and November and December, you're going to get monthly Q&As with me. You can come to me about anything. You can ask me my advice, my support, my experience around this, that, the other thing. I've coached women for decades, helping them rise. I deal with everything from work and art and relationships and depression and anxiety and perimenopause and cancer recovery. We do all of this. So I'm here for you during those monthly Q&As. They're small group, they're potent. And if you have questions, I will get to your questions. You will get to your question. Now, this program has a full money guarantee back. This is to say that if you join me, if you pay for the program and it doesn't work for you, you have 7 days to try it out, to get in there, to go into your membership portal, to download the materials and show me your efforts, right? I'll just be able to see that in the modules that you've been in there and you've been looking at things. And if for some reason you're like, you know what, not for me, you just send me an email and say, Britt, not for me. And I'm going to give you a full refund. But I only want you to do this if you're serious. I only want you to do if you're like, you know what, I want to see who I can be in this community. I want to see what I can do with guidance and with someone helping me each step of the way. Your third bonus, this is one of my favorites. This is where I come to you with kitchen gadgets, and you're going to come into my little Mexican kitchen, which is right there. It's nothing glamorous. I'm in a little rental house as I've been looking at beach property here the Yucatan. That's why I'm in Cancun as well. But I'm just here to say that I'm here to share kitchen gadgets and recipes and hacks and favorite things that I'm doing to eat and to live well. Meals, snacks, smoothies, hacks. This is rare and unusual. This is the one thing my students ask for more and more and more of, is how do I get more related to food and nutrition? Tell me about that. I'll share with you my favorite websites, quick and easy healthy recipes, everything. That's your third bonus. So bottom line is, dessert for breakfast, bonus number 1. Bonus number 2, Q&A for the rest of the year. Bonus number 3, radical self-care kitchen class. The radical self-care roadmap is it's priced very low in comparison to what's out there. I hear it all the time. We've done our market research. I'm charging you less than half of what I see for programs that sort of are similar, but still not as robust as this program. This program is only $249. That is a fraction in comparison to what we waste on things like wine and food and Netflix and naproxen sodium, Aleve and Pepto-Bismol and all these things, face masks. I'm here to say, let me help you. I promise I'll make it worth it. $249. Join me for Radical Self-Care Roadmap. I promise it'll be worth it. And you have a money-back guarantee. It's 28 days, it's 4 modules, it's 12 lessons, it's all yours, and we start Monday. So join me. If you sign up today, you get all of these things. How do you register? Super simple. You just go to brittbsteele.com, Radical Self-Care Roadmap, enroll now. This is what the page looks like. $249. Click on the Buy Now button. There it is, right there. Over $800 worth of value. Then you're going to get an email. You're going to get into your little private community. You're going to be able to join us as part of our Facebook community. If you're not on Facebook, don't you worry. Never you mind. I'm still going to come live to you every morning on YouTube. That's your option if Facebook's not your shtick. Your portal, this is my super exciting news this year, is I've everything moved over to a membership portal. You follow along, you get to see what you've accomplished, you get to see what modules you've completed. There's little short videos, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10-minute videos. There's PDFs, there's quizzes, there's calendars. It's all right there for you. You take it, you use it, you follow it, and it's going to walk you through your grace. This is how you do it. It's so simple. We've made it so simple. Now, here's the thing. If you join me this hour, and we can tell when you watch the replay, so within an hour of you watching the replay, there's one more bonus. And this bonus is what I'm calling Navigating the Change group coaching call. If you are going through perimenopause or menopause or major change and you're feeling all the not so fun parts, you can join me for a group coaching call, small group coaching call specific to this. I'm going to share with you the research I've done. I'm going to share with you the insights that I've had. I'm going to share with you the professionals that I've spoken to, and I'm going to tell you everything I've got so that the journey for you doesn't have to be nearly as hard as the journey for me was. I've got you. And if you want to join me in the next hour, you get this bonus as well. And what's the value of this? Your sanity, or it was for sure mine. So again, let's circle back. Why are you here? You're here today because you want more than ever to live an authentic, meaningful life. And you are ready to take your next step. Or you are ready to start listening and to start taking better care of yourself. You've had enough of not doing that. Or you know that you're living below your potential, and there is no better time than now to change that. Now is the time. Now, if you're like, yeah, but you know what, Britt? I'm already full, exhausted, overwhelmed. What if I don't have the time for this program? Remember, 100% money guarantee. I promise it's going to be easy. I promise if you show up, what you're going to find is it's going to give you energy. It's going to give you inspiration. It's going to release that overwhelm. It's going to lance the boil of a stressful life. That's what it's going to do for you. But if it doesn't do that for you for some crazy reason, you get your money back. It's just that simple. And what if you say, yeah, but what if this course isn't a good fit for me? I say the same thing. You get your money back. Or what if you're saying, you know what? I've tried online courses before and it wasn't a great experience. I just want to tell you, this is different. The way I show up for teaching, I've never taken a course like my own courses, where I am there every single day for you. Every email you send me, I personally respond to. Every single request that you have, I'm going to do everything in my power to meet that or to help direct you to something that will meet that. I am here for you. What happens is, yeah, I sell this program up until the moment we roll, right? Yes, I sell the program, but that's nothing in comparison to how present I'm going to be. I'm going to show up in the mornings with my bed head. I'm going to show up in my pajamas. I'm going to show up sweaty after a run. I'm going to show up in the kitchen just like, hey guys, I just wanted to show you this. You're going to find me showing up all the time, popping into your members area to give you the most of these 28 days. This, I promise you, this is not like any other online course. And remember, if it doesn't work for you, you got 7 days to try that on. 25% of the way in, you might go, nope, not for me. And guess what I'm going to do? Give you your money back. So this is it. This is Radical Self-Care Roadmap. Dr. Marilyn O'Brien, one of my longtime students and dear soul sisters, says learning from Brit is the greatest gift you can give yourself. And Candace says more. She says, I continue to tap into the wealth of content with Brit years now after her first course with me. It is a profound gift to receive guidance and loving support from someone whom I feel I have so much to learn from. Join me, beloveds, for Radical Self-Care Roadmap. This is what I want for you. So, what are your questions? Bring it on. Tell me how I can support you. What can I give you? What are you hungry for? What do you need to join us? That's what I want to know. All right. Janet says, I am in. What time of the day are the sessions? Okay. So here's what happens. Thank you for that. That's a great question, Janet. So our sessions are early in the morning. The live comes to you, changing my position again. This is part of self-care. You learn. It's like you got to shift and change and move and wiggle and lean up against things and do what you got to do. Okay. What happens is time of day. I come to you every single morning at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time live. I'm with you literally for like 10 minutes. I roll out of bed. I do my morning meditation. I might go for my run. I show up. I'm right there with you at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, 10 minutes, 15 minutes maximum. I'm on YouTube and I'm in our private Facebook group. I'm in those two corresponding locations at the same time. Here's the deal. They are going to remain recorded and available to you for the entire time, for the entire 28 days. So if you can't join me live, never you mind. You just show up later. If you have questions or comments, you just tag me. I'm going to respond to your questions and comments just like you were there live and in person and in the flesh with me. And that's how it rolls. All right. So I hope you join me. Any other questions you have, anything else that you need for clarification, I'm just right here. Bring it on. Tell me. Tell me, was this useful for you? Can you see how this alone is standalone and rich and full and deep? And I'm so glad you're all still here. This is unheard of for people to stay on for the whole time. I'm so proud of you. Keep doing that. Keep turning to yourself. Keep taking care of yourself. I want you not just to feel joy and peace and excitement for 30 seconds or 3 days, right? That's the thing that happens after retreats. You go on a week-long retreat or you go on this great vacation and you're like, oh, I feel so great. And then a week later, you're stressed out again. No more of that. I want this to come into your bones and blood and be there with you. I want us to walk together through infinity. Like, why not just keep walking together and growing together and learning together? We can do this. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the sun again because this makes me so happy. Do you see that? That's the ocean. That's the ocean. One of the teachings is that you just let life come, like the waves come. You learn how to do this. Life is coming, change is coming. It's all coming right at us. Then what happens? The ocean touches the shore and it takes away that which no longer serves us. Our job is to just be in that flow and to find that flow. That's what it's all about. Okay, I'm seeing no more questions. I'm going to let you go. We've been here for an hour and a half. Thank you so very much for your time. I love you. I'm grateful. Join me, brittbsteele.com. I'd love to have you be a part of our community. I'd love to have you join Radical Self-Care Roadmap. Have a sweet day. Deep gratitude. Thank you. I love you. Bye.